See, with men who cheat is that, or men who have cheated, it's that it's a physiological thing, right? It's not something you can wish away. It's not something you can say, oh, you know what? I was bad before, now to be good. I was black before, now
once
to be
I was
bad.
lost, now I'm found.
Yeah. It's not wishful thinking. Oh, I really want to be just. I just want to be faithful now, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you've gone down the path that someone like Davido has gone past. He's plowed dozens.
Yeah, welcome to this stop again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's the Frontaka Junction where we get it rolling. Yeah, it's your boy. Is it your boy? It's your man, because I'm not a boy any longer.
You're veteran now in the game.
Yeah. Resh.
You've been around for a minute.
And the dude. LA. What's going on?
LA easy. I'm good.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, we're good. We're good. In the course of the week, they said Tinubu was in France. But they said the president of France was in Egypt.
I don't know. Didn't Tinubu give him the heads up? Like, I'm coming to your yard.
I don't even know. And they said it was state visit. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't tire. Seriously.
Well, I think what people need to realize is whenever the president of Nigeria says he's going to France, it isn't really a state visit. It's just going to just like have fun, go chill, relax.
But the ball.
Yeah.
It's balling.
It's not official. Like, Nigerians should stop thinking that when Tinubu goes to France, he's going to do business or he's going to go and work for Nigeria.
He's going to save Nigeria.
Nah. Bro is just going to go and like chill.
Man.
Let his head out. Rest a bit.
Now, wow. Yeah, so while I was thinking about my Nigerian life, I was surfing the net. Then I saw Davido.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how, and it caught my interest really because of what he was talking about. He was talking about how the internet, they pitch stars against themselves and all.
Yeah, word.
You know, so I of which I also saw where he was having the interview and he was on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
With Chalaman the God. Yeah, those guys. So I went to check the interview, the complete interview. You know, but I thought it made sense because of which is also his album launch. He's trying to launch his album on April 18th, I think. 18th,
yeah.
Yeah, 5, his album. I'm not advertising for Davido. I don't even advertise. I don't even know him. But it's the conversation that I'm talking about. I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. Where
he was talking about he doesn't want to cheat on his wife again. He had a lot of stuff, you know, but that particular not cheating on his wife, that's the one that caught my attention. And those guys were asking him, like, are you sure? Are you sure you're not going to cheat again? You know? And it's very fun. So let's just get into the conversation. What do you think about Davido, you know, when he said he's not going to cheat on his wife, that he's not interested in cheating any longer?
Yeah.
Just want to keep it, you know, simple. He enjoys his life now and all that. What do you think about that?
Man, first things first, I think I kind of like the person that Davido is growing into. You know, you can tell that a lot of the youthful exuberance that he used to portray back in the day, he's beginning to drop them off. I think that's what comes with getting married, having kids, becoming a family person. And I get that he's trying to be better, right? And what I liked about the interview on the Breakfast Club with Davido and Chalaman and the rest was you could tell that Davido was being real. When he says he doesn't want to cheat on his wife anymore, I think he means it. Because Davido right now is in that phase in his life where, and I think most men who want to be responsible, they pass through that phase where they enjoy the peace that comes with you go to bed, you're not worried whether your wife is going to pick your phone. Start going through your messages because you know you're good. You know you're not hiding anything. You know you don't have any sneaky links you're talking to. You know you're not trying to hit up any girl somewhere and you're hiding your chats on Snapchat or whatever. You know you're just good. There's a peace of mind that comes with that, right? And I think Davido is right now in that phase where he enjoys the peace that comes with that over anybody or, hot chick that he thinks he's going to roll around with. So I think he believes that he's not going to do it anymore. However, the thing or the problem with men like Davido is those kind of resolutions are usually short-lived. Yeah, they don't last that long, trust me. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I'm happy for Davido and what he thinks is his new lifestyle now, which is be a one-woman man, stay faithful and all that. I think that it's just a momentary thing, a phase, and when time passes, that nature is going to come back. And the question is, has he answered the real reason why he no longer wants to play around with ladies? Because don't forget, he has 4 baby mamas who are always going to be in a picture. He's always going to try to make them happy. Let's not forget the Two-Face incident, right? What eventually, in my opinion, brought around the crash of Two-Face's marriage was the influence that the other women were having in the marriage, right? Till today, they'll say Peru was still one of the major influences in Two-Face's marriage, and Annie couldn't take it, right? Because Two-Face was cool with Peru. He's cool with like 1 or 2 other baby mamas. And Davido is young, but by the time he starts getting to his 40s, he realized that because you want to be in the life of these other children you've got, you have to be around. You have to pay attention to the wives, to the baby mamas. You have to co-parent. That leaves a lot of avenues for things to go down. And Chioma is not going to be able to, avoid those things or fight those things when that time comes. So I don't know. I don't know if long term, if it's something that it's a promise he can keep up to be honest, long term.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talked about Two-Face. Yeah. I mean, the ideal situation would be that is what eventually happens with Davido and his official wife, Chioma, and all. But, I mean, with the life that they live, it's a celebrity life. His music is, it's garnered a lot of, fans over the years and all. And I talked about how my cousins in Ogun State University, when they were talking about how when Two-Face came to their university that time and he came to perform, that ladies were just stripping themselves naked, like,
facts.
Just enjoy yourself, like you are Two-Face, just enjoy yourself. And it's a very difficult it's a very difficult situation to put themselves. But I like what he said. One of the things that he said as well, he said that he's seen some big celebrities that are bigger than him that are able to put themselves together. And he said that is also some of the reasons why he felt like he can actually do it too. I'm hoping that's. I mean,
so the thing with
I like to be optimistic.
The thing with men who cheat is that, or men who have cheated, it's that it's a physiological thing, right? It's not something you can wish away. It's not something you can say, oh, you know what? I was bad before, now to be good. I was black before, now
once
to be
I was
bad.
lost, now I'm found.
Yeah. It's not wishful thinking. Oh, I really want to be I just want to be faithful now, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you've gone down the path that someone like Davido has gone past. He's plowed dozens, right? He's going to have to dig very deep and find the source of why he wants to be a better man.
So it's going to be more than just
the
spur of the moment.
Yeah, it's good more than just, oh, I'm tired of making my girlfriend cry, my wife cried, let me be a better man.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired of always, chatting different girls. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why he might be thinking or may be feeling the way he's feeling right now could just be because he's tired of talking to bodies. He could just be tired of talking to different girls. I'm like, you know what, all these girls, they don't have anything to offer. I'm tired of them. Let me focus on my wife. That's fair, right? But that only lasts for like 12 months. So you stretch it 24 months, right? When time passes, you're going to miss them again, right? Maybe you start going through some stuff at home. Your wife's stressing you out. You're looking for an escape. That's when you just remember that, oh, there's some stories that have been issuing up. Let me reply the text. And Davido, there's not having any shortage of women hitting him up. right. So he's gonna say, let me just answer this girl, or let me just chat this person up. Something before you know it, something has happened. So for me, he needs to dig really deep within himself and ask himself, like, bro, what is the reason? What's really driving me want to be a better man? So that he doesn't
fall for another shorty that has for $1 million.
Bro, I'm telling you, guys like this, I understand them. They think they can just change. Nah, bro. You ain't just changing just like that. I don't think so.
I hope he follows through. But it's a long shot, like you said. It's a very long shot.
Davido.
I hope he follows through. But there is also something that he said that I kind of like, and I feel like it is maybe good for him. Maybe if he plays the interview back to remind himself, he said he went to one of his friend's house. That's not a celebrity.
Yeah.
Guy just got. I saw the video. Guy just got married and stuff, and he said the joy that guy has. He wants to have something like that.
Yeah.
And I think if you can remind yourself again, like why you're doing what you're doing, dig deep, and ask yourself, why do I want to go like this route and stuff and all, can actually make it happen really, and it's going to serve as a good, model. Maybe not so much a model because he has. He has a lot of baby mamas now.
5 kids.
But I mean, it is what it is. Davido. I hope you're going to follow up.
Well, here's the thing that I like about. Sorry before you go ahead. And I want to put it out here. I know that I might sound like
you're pessimist.
I'm pessimistic about Davido. Yeah, I might sound that way.
No, I think you're just being realistic.
Yeah, being realistic.
What is?
But I do want to say here that Davido has, not like he matters or he cares, but he has my respect. Right?
Okay.
He has my respect because he's been called a lot of names, and some people have labeled him as, piece of whatever it is, right? You don't like him because they think he's too loud or whatever. I still think that for a man in his status, with his kind of experience, wealth, and exposure, to want to make a honorable decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
To settle down.
Yeah.
And at least make an attempt at having a family unit. Yeah, I think there are not many people at that level making that kind of decision. I mean, we've seen people like Wizkid, right? Wizkid has turned Jada, his manager, to baby making machine, right? And he's not even giving that one any inkling of hope that they could end up being in a kind of marital situation. Burna Boy, we don't even know what Burna Boy is doing, right? Doesn't look like he's looking to settle down anytime soon. Right, and same thing for some of the other big stars. But Davido is saying, I want better for myself. I can be better. I'm trying to be better. Right. I think that for that, he deserves some kudos, and maybe we should be a little bit easy on him and not drag him too much.
I think man would have to live with his decisions. He's made his decisions. He's a celebrity. And what comes with that is what he's actually having to deal with, really. It's not like he's doing anything out of the ordinary. Then King Sunny Ade, all the big stars that we know of today. At some point, King Sunny Ade even said, you don't count your kids. In our culture, we don't count our kids.
What does that mean? Don't count our kids. Like, don't be giving it to them and just be adding them like Nepal or what?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Yeah, you mentioned Two-Face.
Yeah.
And the question is, with the way Two-Face is going, it seems like Two-Face is just like, I'm just going to live my life. Yeah. I don't care anymore. Like, and the wife, Annie, and we're going to tie everything together because David also mentioned about, getting the respect of his wife, Chioma, for not going public, just going to one podcast and saying this is what happened and all that.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about Two-Face. With Two-Face and Natasha, this new Natasha now, and Annie Macaulay, Annie Dibia, because they're married now. Do you think that these celebrities, they think they are the catch now, like they are the prize, so they can just go about, just do anything? And also these guys, they are like role models to the men, to the guys and all.
Yeah.
So the guys can feel like, okay, once I got some wad in my pocket, yeah, I'm just going to live my life, do what I want to do. I'm going to have baby mamas and dog and all that. And, do you think men are like that? Do you think men are thinking in that way? Do you think that's the way men are thinking?
Yeah, I think it's a little unfortunate because on social media you always have people that can spin different narratives. So with Two-Face, we've seen how people have spawned the narrative that, oh, he logged out of one and logged right into another. And people say he upgraded because the new girl that he's supposed to be with, she's some politician, Natasha, whatever.
You
right?
Upgraded to what?
They say Two-Face upgraded.
I don't guess. What right? Upgrade?
I don't know. So when they paint that kind of narrative, they make it seem like, oh, Two-Face is winning either ways. Yeah. Right? And some guys are like, oh, you know what? Instead of it to be killing yourself, trying to impress some woman or trying to win a woman's love, just focus on being rich, famous, successful, and you get any woman you want. So the problem with that kind of narrative is we're breeding men to, should I say,
irresponsible.
Yeah. Number one, disrespect women, right?
Yeah.
And think that they don't count for anything, right? And also, like you said, be irresponsible. Knowing that even if you do the wrong things, you feel like you can still attract, women anyway. So you're winning anyways. While in reality, it might look that way. I think if you go a bit deeper, look a bit deeper, you see that as a man, when you do things like that, you're only hurting yourself, right? Yeah, you're only hurting yourself. You're not really edifying yourself with those kind of behaviors or mindset or perspectives. So I don't think Two-Face should be a role model.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Two-Face recently, the videos are coming out. People actually think he's being hoodwinked. Or what's the word now? They think he's being like under a spell. Like, like this is not the Two-Face we know. Yeah. He looks like a walking zombie. Like he's being controlled or something. I don't know.
He's under some hypnotic type of
like hypnosis, like he's being hypnotized or something. I don't know how that is, but all I'm saying is it's not a good look for Two-Face. So I don't see how anybody can look at that and think, oh, that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
That's what I want to aspire to. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Really, easier said than done. Anyway, because it takes a lot of grit, discipline, like resolve as a man to not go about. I mean, just being a nuisance to women and just doing whatever you want to do and all. I've never really seen Two-Face as a model for men. I don't even think he puts himself out as a model anyway.
Yeah, first.
And unfortunately, those are the people that the brands, put out, in front of the world. Like, this is the model, And when they have the brand endorsement and all that, I mean, if you see Oraimo, you see Two-Face head. Do you get? Yeah. So that's what society, projects, as a model. Either we like it or not. So maybe somebody like me and you that kind of have some level head, I would say maybe this is not right.
Yeah.
And then, of which you have to come to your own too, like, and decide how you want to chart your own life, before you can come to those individual conclusions and say. But in the larger scheme of things, these guys, they have gazillion fans.
Yeah.
That would literally just
that will defend them to the death.
Exactly.
Even if they show, what's so crazy about Stanship? If they show you live evidence now, or someone like Davido carry pump action off somebody in cold blood, there's still like 1 million people that will defend
that would justify it.
What you saw is not Davido said. Or the person that happened, that person is the one that wanted to do something to Davido. And they can't defend. Like, it's not easy being a celebrity. I'm telling you, because when you have that kind of support backing, right? Yeah. You feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
You literally feel like you can do anything and get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so for me, I don't see them as model. I can count, like, with my fingers, I can count, like, scantily.
Do you think Richard Mofe-Damijo is a model? A good model for men? RMD? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because RMD at some point, and also, yeah. So with RMD, I can see, like, I think RMD is a good model, because at some point he came out publicly and said, I've been a very bad person.
I've been a bad boy, yeah.
You know, and all. And I mean, I've actually wronged my woman for so long, and all. Thank you for sticking by me and stuff and all, and all that. You know, I think there is a coming to Jesus moment, you know, where people can own up and say, I've wronged. But these guys, them maybe also, like, I say, maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe also with RMD, age is coming with that.
Yeah.
But if you also look at I mean, old celebrities and old stars, they don't give two craps, so they are not accepting anything. They just, you know, so, but I can say that RMD is in a league of his own.
Yeah.
You know, and I think RMD is a model. RMD is a model.
Ramsey Noah too.
Ramsey Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about Ramsey.
Exactly,
Noah.
That's my point. Like,
his life is not really in the public.
Yeah, very low
key.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, moving on. We talked about Davido saying, like, you know, he thanks his wife for not putting his matter out, you know, in public and all and everything. But do you think that because of the way the life they live, do you think that it's like bad? I mean, that is not. Do you think you can blame the wife or the baby mamas and all coming out and calling them out on maybe podcasts and calling them out on social media and all? You know, do you think that that's not right? And where do you think is the limits of coming out and outing your man or outing your, you know? And a lot of people even still do it. I saw a lady, she's American. You know, as a matter of fact, Mouthwash, I don't know if you know Mouthwash. Mouthwash is with Daily Wire. You know, I talked about the woman. And I saw the video actually before Mouthwash started talking about the woman. And the woman just came out and, like, you know, all these feminists, you know, came out and, like, you know, I actually would have divorced my husband. You know, he did something that would have made me divorce my husband, you know, but I gave him a leeway, you know, and I told him, like I was like, what is wrong with this one? You know? And Mouthwash now also talked about it and all. But when is the right time to take your private matters out in the public, and then social media people are now giving you advice on what to do and how to do? You know, when is the right time to do that? Or is it just not the appropriate thing to do at all?
I think at some point you probably should. It reminds me of Elon Musk. Recently, one of his baby mamas literally came out.
That one is
I was dragging
Elon Musk when it comes to.
I'm saying your child is sick. You're not doing anything about it. We need support.
I think Elon Musk is your child. Kind of which, because of his. I don't know why they say because you are a tech guy then you have to be acting psycho or whatever. I don't get it. Like, you know. On your responsibility and just
especially if you want to be having babies like jackrabbits or something like you gotta be responsible. So that's, I guess that answers your question, right? For me, when it becomes an incident of, you know, life and death, someone's life is in trouble or whatever it is, you need to speak up, especially if the baby daddy, who's a celebrity and probably has a ton of money, is ignoring you, and maybe the child's health is at risk, you know, you should speak up. But unfortunately, some women, they speak up at any slight inconvenience.
Yeah, because the question is the child's health actually at risk?
Exactly.
Because the right? Child health may necessarily not be at risk at $40,000 per month. But when you now say, no, I want to negotiate, I want to be paying $10,000 per month, they say, no, the child's life is at risk.
Yeah, so some shorties, right, like, they just be taking advantage of that, like, at any slight inconvenience. Let's say the guy hasn't, like you said, maybe he's, I guess he's paying like $50K a month, and for like 2 months, it was dropping maybe $15K or $10K. Sharply on ring lights. I know these women, they're so good. When they narrate the story for you,
they will make it look as if
God, they'll paint the guy like the devil from God's Demon's
He's
Past.
actually the one giving the devil advice.
And you there, you're just saying, you now see the storyline, you now be like, how can such a celebrity be so heartless?
Yeah.
You just judge him like that without knowing the other side of the story, right?
Yeah.
So, and I go back to Davido, who was praising Chioma for not being one of the women that set ring lights. While on one hand, that's a good thing to be happy about, on the second hand, he needs to be careful not to be seen as a narcissist, right? Because people will say, because you know your woman is not someone who likes to speak up or who likes to bring her private business outside, that shouldn't mean you take advantage of her and, be doing things that she wouldn't like, right? So there's a thin line there, right? While we celebrate someone like Chioma for being a reserved private person who knows how to handle her business, without coming to social media, we should also insist that her calmness and her patience is not taken for granted and that she's treated properly. And men who have that kind of women, don't take them for granted. Don't think because, they won't speak up or they won't bring the house down, then that gives you leeway to misbehave, right? Yeah. On the flip side, you should actually, what's the word now? Appreciate that nature that your wife has got or your woman has got, and make sure that you nurture it more so that you guys can have a more fruitful, relationship, marriage, in the long term, right? So
yeah. So from the conversation that Davido had at the Breakfast Club, I think he made himself vulnerable at the time that he was talking about Chioma, and I think it was a good reflection on him. And I feel like the wife as well was able to effect that type of response from him. Where he noticed that this is actually a good woman. That's not putting me out. Fair. Just kind of, at every slightest, provocation like this, ring light don't start, and and I think that shouldn't also go unnoticed. Because that's a good quality from a woman. Yeah. Really. And I believe that men like women that give them peace. And if it is, I don't know that I can live with any woman that kind of just goes on. Yeah, just goes on. And maybe also personality too, because some people, they're able to, their personality is also able to kind of, rub off on the lady. Then the lady just start to, But I think it's a two-way street. Everybody should be rubbing themselves, the best way possible. And I would give kudos to Chioma because Davido recognized that in you, and I think every woman too can learn from that. You don't need to go out in the public and just,
the funny thing is that on the show here, we are celebrating Chioma and saying she's a good woman. Behind the scenes, the feminist co and the women's rights movement group are probably bashing her and saying she's a victim. Right? Yeah, they're probably calling her a victim. They're probably saying she's being traumatized in the relationship. They're saying, she's been battered emotionally, spiritually, physically, and she's being held hostage in the marriage. That's what the feminists will tell you. Right? Because they say, how can a woman stay with a man who has had 4 baby mamas?
It's close to saying like you cannot be happy in that marriage.
Exactly. They don't expect her to be happy in the marriage. In fact, it's an insult, an affront to the feminine universe that Chioma is still in that marriage and she's thriving because of what she has gone through. Right? So, I mean, people look at it from different
more like they are the one experiencing that situation for her.
You understand? So I feel like it's 2 different lenses. From our perspective, or from my perspective as a guy, and it might sound selfish, every guy wants to have a woman like Chioma. Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's just not right. Like that is the basic reality of life. That is just the truth. If a woman,
they might call us narcissists.
Call us narcissists all you want. Yeah, all you want. Yeah, Toke Makiwa, what did she say? She you heard her. Yeah. She said she doesn't mind now. Say if it's the 5th now, just give me one husband.
She ready to be the 5th wife now.
She's ready,
Ned Okonkwo is taking applications ahead.
Who is that?
Prince Ned Okonkwo. Regina Daniels' husband. I mean,
and that man is not.
He might not mind.
That man is not meaning to wait anytime. I mean, to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, you don't.
That
mind.
guy is just filing your application.
Straight up.
I mean, but it's actually interesting, really. Kudos to Chioma. Davido recognized that, and for every woman that is watching this, that is a typical representation. That's a typical woman that every man is looking for.
And on this show, let me tell you, let me just say this real quick, right? And to people listening to us, right? You found yourself a good woman when you have a woman that can tame you or make you to even allow yourself or attempt to be tamed.
Yeah. And
I'll say this because I remember the Big Brother, during the Big Brother reunion, one of the shows, Teddy A and Bam Bam, just some weeks ago, we're praising Bam Bam for a fantastic performance in Omonobele's movie. I saw a clip where, during the reunion, one of the housemates was trying to shade Teddy A and saying, "Oh, Teddy A, I thought that you were, a big bad wolf, because Teddy A was like this, rough around the edges, handsome, rugged man who just, with testosterone, blasting through ladies." And then he met Bam Bam in the house, and then they fell in love. And the guy just cooled down. And so the lady was trying to, stroke Teddy and say, Bam Bam tamed you. I thought you were some big bad wolf, but you've been tamed. Like as if she was trying to insult him.
Yeah.
And Teddy responded to her, I was like, bro, nobody can tame me. I became the way I am right now because I love her. Right? And there's something about her that makes me say, bro, this is a good one.
Kind of
calm your head down.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Calm yourself down and don't lose this. So for men out there, I feel like, how do you know a good woman that you don't want to lose or you can't afford to lose? Any woman that makes you want to make yourself a better man. Legit. Like any woman that comes into your life and you just realize that by virtue of her being around you, you are beginning to ask yourself questions like, this now does it even make sense? Do I really need to be doing this thing? Should I be coming down on this thing?
Yeah.
If a woman can have that kind of effect on you, make you want to be a better man, don't let her go.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's a matter of understanding and knowing who you're dealing with, getting to know yourselves and all. But that doesn't apply to Davido. Well, maybe it applies anyway, because we cannot crucify him forever because he's made mistakes. You know. Hopefully, if he goes forward and continues in that path, then that means he's a man that lives, by his word and all. But I mean, I pray for him. I hope that, because that's where his heart is. Because from that interview, I saw that that's where his heart is. He wants to be happy, married to the wife of his youth.
Yeah.
And I hope
been with her for like 8 years or 9 years.
They met in the university.
Yeah.
So like 11, more than, I hope and pray that that's what happens to him, really. And he goes forward like that. And you can't do that if you don't have some spiritual, and all. But you are going to figure it out yourself anyway. Going forward.
Yeah.
Do you think if the roles were switched, if it's the woman that is philandering and doing all that, do you think the public would be as lenient on them as they are on men? Because I mean, with men, just he's a man. He's a man. The way they are. But with the ladies, do you think the public, the general public is, or society rather, is more lenient on the men than the women? So if the women are philandering, how do you?
I think in the past you would say that women don't get away with things like that because society will bury you alive. If you're found out to be a woman who has affairs and all that, you'll be called a SLUT. But I can see that changing because the question is, who is society? Who makes up society, man or woman? Right? The only reason why women used to feel shamed or used to be shamed in the past was because the men will do the shaming, and then the woman's other fellow woman will also shame you because they feel like exactly they shame you on behalf of the men because they feel like you fucked up. But now in this era, we are having a new generation of ladies who don't give two craps, right? They wear the heart in their sleeves, and they'll tell you, "Go, girl, you got yours." So even if you lost a bad man because you wanted to play around with a celebrity, they'll be like, "Yeah, girl, it happens. You get something better. Chin up," right? So the amount of women who are fellow shaming their own women for being found out are reducing. So that's why I think that, yes, you have the men who are, trying to bash you and all that. If a woman is seen to be philandering, having multiple partners and all that. But if she has a female community that's willing to not bash her, that's literally willing to stand on her side, then you might just find out that it's not going to be such a big deal when women do stuff like that. Because we as men, we excuse our fellow men when they misbehave because we say it's a men thing. So if women start excusing their fellow women if they misbehave and they say, oh, it's a women thing too, then what we just have is a society where everybody's doing what they want. There's no guilt anywhere. If you want to guilt shame me, it doesn't matter, right? We move on.
I think it's happening actually because, you see ladies that they don't give two crap, they don't care.
Yeah, because you talked about Toke Makinwa, right? Yeah. For Toke Makinwa to openly come on the podcast and say, oh, at this point, she doesn't mind, she's looking forward to be taught, second, fourth, fifth, and they're all laughing. You understand? It's all jokes and laughs. You couldn't say that 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago.
Exactly.
It should be like the ultimate mark of shame for you to admit openly that you are okay to be in a second. Even if it's joke, you know how to joke like that. But now you can make this kind of jokes because, they won't tell you, go girl, get that bag.
So I think people are doing it. Ladies are doing it. They are sleeping with many men, multiple men. And they wear it as a badge. As a badge of honor. They even tell their folk, their peer, like, this is who I am and stuff. And all. They even set targets. That guy, I go get him.
There was one Yoruba actor that was crying on YouTube some weeks ago. Ijobalande. I don't know if you know him. That his wife went to play Truth or Dare in one of that Yoruba actor's house, and she was collecting doggy. Truth or Dare, they dared her to do doggy with somebody else, and she was doing it.
Wow,
the guy was crying like this. That's just one of the incidents that he knows of. Wow. That he has like other evidence to show that his wife has literally been passed around the industry, and the wife don't give two craps. Like she just like, she's just on a roll. But it's crazy out here. Like girls are not even like giving two craps.
Yeah, I think if people are going by the craze in town and saying, this is what is obtainable and this is what is permissible and what have you, and all. You just get, the main context of the matter you get in, it will be missing in your whole, conclusion. I think individually people just need to find their tribe, and foster better and good relationship, in that situation, because you can't control another man's desire, whatever they want, whatever they chose to do. Maybe it's their background, maybe it's their life experience, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
They have to come to the point where they decide, okay, this is their life, And I think Davido hinted at that when he was talking at the Breakfast Club, that this is the life that I really want. I want a life where me and Chioma, because I saw my friend that was enjoying his life, just secluded, married, enjoying his, and all with his wife and stuff. And I think it goes down to us individuals. So women are doing it. I don't really care. If you want to be doing that, but I will never get married to a woman like that. It's just the truth of the matter and all. But whatever the case is, society cannot determine how people live, because it's a free society, it's a free world. They can decide whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But when it now comes to the consequences of that action, they might carry AIDS, they might carry, pregnancy that nobody wants to accept. They might. You see some of those divorce courts in the US.
Yeah.
They'll be going back and forth. No, it's not my child.
Yeah.
No, it's yours. The day I was with you, that was when it happened.
Yeah.
The guy who said, but I saw 3 other guys, that were with you. No.
Like, you know what's crazy is when you hear stories about how a man finds out that like 3 children that have been fathering for like 20 years are not his. Like not one, 3. The 3. Obirin.
Well, it's just
Obirin
the way it is, really.
The wicked, bro.
Individually find yours. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it all up. When do you think is the right time to break up from a toxic relationship? Because sometimes all this relationship can just categorize them as toxic.
Yeah.
You have 5, 6, 10 baby mamas.
Yeah.
Man, how would you jostle with attention with the guy? I'm like, that's toxic, So when is the right time to actually say, I've had enough?
To be honest,
I'm breaking away.
I can't even answer that question. And even if I put myself in the position of a woman in that relationship, in a relationship,
even
like
the man, we can't just say it's just the women. Even the men. Yeah.
How? What do you mean?
Yeah, well,
like if a woman
because
has
at the end of the
children,
day, this guy, what's his name? Anthony Edwards. I don't know if you know Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Plays basketball for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I know. He has a very funny situation that happened to him recently. He's a 23-year-old boy.
Mm.
I'll call him a boy because he's a young boy.
Mm.
Came from a family, the black families and the way they grow.
Yeah.
No father at home. The mother is the one that took care of them and stuff and all. Had his break of becoming a basketball star and all. Now, 4 baby mamas.
Okay.
4 baby mamas in the space of 1 year. 4 baby mamas.
Okay.
The last one was 36 years old, baby mama.
You're 38.
38, you see, 30-something year old baby mama. And he said he doesn't want the child. But the lady said, you.
Yeah.
This one is yours.
Yeah, that was a game plan.
I'm not going. The U.S. Constitution says that we should not be aborted.
That was a game plan all along.
Okay. That was the plan. The plan was, this is my bag. I need to secure it and stuff and all. That's what they do with the men and all. So for me, I can also.
So how is that toxic?
Yeah.
How is that?
I can also say that. I don't have a meat in the fight though. I'm just saying, like, for the men too, they are having their fair share of, having to go through that situation where women are actually trapping them. They are trapping them, really. If you go to a club now, for instance, if you're in a club, what they do is they make sure that you have gotten very, very intoxicated and stuff and all. And they just start to throw themselves at you. Typical man that doesn't have what's it called? There is no brake light or what have you and all and everything. So for me, I'm just saying, I don't have a meat in the fight, like I said, but I believe that the men too are going through the toxicity.
Nah, I don't count that as being toxic, brother, or being in a toxic situation. If a man decides he wants to be tricking his pee every creator out there, that's his business, right? That's not when you say they're being trapped. You wouldn't be trapped if you didn't willfully dive into some sewer, right? So that's on the men, right? When we talk about toxic relationship, is when you are already in a committed relationship or marriage, and one person just seems to be giving us some psychotic or sociopathic behaviors, right? And their behaviors is literally a threat to your life. How do you get out, right? So, and that's why I was talking about the women, because when you are dating a celebrity, say Chioma, for example, you're dating Davido. You're not just dating Davido, you're dating his family. His father, his cousin, his mom, right? An influential family. They immerse you into that whole universe. How do you pull yourself out? Because the guy can't stop, jumping from one scare to another, right? And every time you want to choose yourself, he's begging you, the family is begging you, they're all trying to find a way to keep you so that you don't embarrass the family name, right? By leaving. That's the toxicity that I'm talking about. And I'm asking myself, how do women deal with that? And how can they walk away from that? Or at what point do they feel like they need to walk away from that? Because that's going to be a big call, right? And I feel like every woman that decides to stay in that kind of situation is signing up for a lifelong, experience of sacrifice. Because you're always the guy's got 5 baby mamas or 5 kids outside. He's not going to abandon them just because he loves you. In fact, that's going to make him irresponsible. That's Davido. To abandon all his children just because he wants to be faithful to you. So Chioma has signed up for a lifetime of sharing her husband with 5 other families. And at some point, it is going to get toxic, right? Yes. She might be the understanding woman now, because Davido is in his limelight and the ovation is high. At some point, Davido is not going to be popping that much. He's going to become a regular guy, right? And hopefully, he'll still have money because his family is wealthy, right? But there's something about when you're no longer a famous person, you're just a normal, everyday person, the dynamics will change. And I don't know if Chioma is ready or she's thinking about what that life looks like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when they're in their 40s, right? That's where the chicken really comes home to roost. And that's where, a lot of the toxicity and, the pressure will start becoming more evident. And I hope that she's preparing herself to navigate that when that time comes, really.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have that thought as well. Like the man is the one that went and slept with the ladies. But with my eye test, with my eye test observation and over the years, I also see that the women also, they are doing it to just trap the guys, secure the bag, and start to live off of the men. And the toxicity, also spreads to the men, in a way that they may be unconscious of it, and then eventually realize that actually this is also partly my decision because I'm the one that slept with the lady, I know. But the lady, they knew what they were doing from the jump.
No,
that's the reason why. That's the reason why Anthony Edwards kind of paid the woman off. I think he paid $1 million for like 18 years. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this woman and all. I mean, as ruthless as that might be, that is also some of his frustration. Like, I don't want this baby, and I made you know to you, but the fact still remains that you are the one that slept with the baby.
I mean,
yeah. So
you don't want a baby, use a rubber or something.
Yeah. I mean,
my bro is diving in skin.
They don't care. They don't want it. They even want. The idea is not for them to use protection. The idea is that I want to secure the bag. That's
no. I'm saying the guy. The guy is supposed to wrap it up.
I mean,
if he's trying to.
But the ladies don't care. Really, the ladies don't care. Well, I mean, it's just. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's the video that we talked about today. I'm hoping that this give some people lessons of how to deal with situations as it pertains to relationship, celebrities alike, how to keep yourself in check. If you want to, if your head is swelling, because I mean, I'm in Nollywood, I go in and out, and I see how just being a popular face on TV can make people think they are all that. Even when the money is not coming there. But once the ladies see that you're very popular, they just want to have a bite of you. They want to do all that and everything. You go, hunger go finish you. Hunger go finish you. By the time you go, then give you plenty picking where you know fit feed. Hunger go finish you. So Davido gets money. His family gets money. His dad is like a billionaire. Not like a billionaire, he's a billionaire. That is bragging about, So don't go and make yourself the video and start making babies, but they're not go here. But it is what it is, So for me, I think, that's our conclusive. I don't know, do you have any wrap up?
No, man, it's all good. Happy for Davido. 5 album coming out soon. I've never really been a fan, but I hope that maybe
you might drop
1 or 2 songs in the album that makes sense. Of the video?
Yeah.
Not really.
You've not been a fan. Excuse me. I thought you were a fan of the video. I thought you were.
Nah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of either of them, to be honest. Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid. Maybe I like Wizkid at some point, but yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy for him putting in the work. I feel like this might be the final cuttings for Davido in terms of putting in a body of work like a full album. I feel like this might be the last dice. Really.
Last hurrah.
Yeah, the last hurrah, really. I don't know why I feel that way.
Why do you feel like Davido is still young?
I know, but I don't know. I just feel like, well, I might be wrong.
He can reinvent himself.
Yeah,
I mean,
I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, their sound is fading. Right?
Okay.
The Davido, Whiskey, their sound is fading. It's not commercial anymore. Maybe Burna Boy still has a bit of longevity left, because Burna Boy's style, people haven't really gotten tired of it yet. It's unique in its own way. But Davido, Whiskey, yeah, I see them phasing out. So that's why I feel like this might be his last, album, Davido. So, and I hope he can put everything into it and give us a loud bang. And,
I'm not really a fan of them anyway, because me, I have my select type of songs, So it's on this point that I also give shout out to my guy. What's his name?
You're asking me what's your guy's name?
Johnny Boy, Johnny Drill.
Has Johnny Drill even released anything in like 2 years?
I mean, but if you listen to Johnny Drill's, funny, I was listening to some of Johnny Drill's songs. I'm like, man, this guy is very... And he's not the one that he will put on his endorsement, though. Now, Davido, Shorty want $1 million. And he's the one that is saying he wants to stay with one man. He's the one that's saying he wants to stay with one woman. And he's the one that is singing Shorty, you want $1 million. 30 billion for the account.
That was before.
Yeah?
That was before.
Oh, okay, that was before.
Yeah, that was in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you, Davido. Okay. No, I will see you.
David.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Stay chilling, guys. Catch you all next week.
Yeah. Take care now.
Hoorah.
Later.